Guardians, how you doing? My name is Poe, and this week we are going to be taking a look at the Destiny Iron Banner exclusive legendary airsoft rifle, the SILIMAR'S Wrath, aka the Salami Wrap. I love this weapon because it does nothing to the enemy. It seriously just blows kisses. It's not that threatening, to be honest. Now, let's talk about the stats. The SILIMAR'S has got a 66 mag capacity. It comes in with around a 2.5 second reload speed and 900 round per minute fire rate. That is the highest in the game. The Epilogue shares it, a couple other auto rifles share it, and some of the LMGs like the Song of Your Ute and a few others share that fire rate, but it fires very, very fast. Now, each individual cotton ball shot from this thing does 13 damage for a critical one to the face and 11 to the body. It takes roughly 16 to 19 shots to kill the enemy, and it's got about 1 second to 1.20 seconds to get a nice kill with this thing. Now, on paper, that's pretty badass. Looking at this thing on paper, you're gonna look like, 16 to 19 is kind of like scary, 13 damage is kind of scary. But if you factor in the fire rate, which is almost double all of the other auto rifles, if not more than that, almost triple, then it seems like that's pretty solid. If this gun does actually land all of its shots, it has a faster time to kill than the Shuros regime. True story. But you're not gonna hit all those shots. You're gonna hit a fraction of those shots. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why I like to talk about how I feel in a gun review. A lot of people like to break it down, be analytical, here's the stats, this is why. But some things you just can't factor in just by saying them or showing them. You need to actually experience it yourself, and that's why I throw in my feels, so you guys kind of know. This gun is arguably the worst gun in the game. If $1,000 was on the line, I was competing in a tournament, I would choose the No Land Beyond over this weapon. This gun is seriously not going to beat any other weapon in the game. It's kind of sad, especially with a nerf. Now, what I do have rolling on my weapon is I do have reactive reload. You can roll that in the first perk, and that's exciting. If you do not know what that does, is after a kill, assuming you get one, you can get a 33% buff for about a 3-second period towards this gun, meaning a headshot would go from 13 to 17 and a body shot would go from 11 to 13, which is significant. When I actually have that buff on, I feel like I can almost fight with it, but it's still not up to par with some of the other ones. So even with that buff, I have that added confidence, but you're still going to lose to almost every other gun in the game because hand cannons dominate. Most of the other guns are going to dominate. You're going to lose to all the regimes and pretty much any other gun out there. So for PvP, it's not really got much function. It's not something you should ever use unless you really, really want to hurt yourself. It's a less messy alternative for cutting. I know, it's a little overboard, but you guys get what I'm saying. This thing is painful to use. You shouldn't do it. It's so struggle. It's so annoying. And even though you're looking at the screen right now, it's really kind of hard to use. I think I was using it on Xbox, so my aim is kind of off. I don't know. But let's just be serious about things right now. I just know the gun has so rebellious recoil. It's so hard to manage. You're going to miss a lot of your shots. Even against stationary, just standstill targets, you're going to miss a lot of your shots. And that's also one of the main reasons I don't recommend this for PvE. Even though you can roll something like reactive reload coupled with glass half full or even crowd control and paper, again, it's tempting. You're like, wow, I could just do a whole lot of damage. It just doesn't outfunction the other guns out there. I mean, you should still stick to things like the Fang of Your Ute and Vision for PvE or even PvP. I mean, at those points, these guns are just dominant over this one. So yes, at no point should you ever feel confident using this weapon. This is definitely a vaulter, which is a coin term that I just decide to use for those guns that are just so bad you just leave it in the vault and just don't touch it until it's buffed. Yeah, it's a vaulter. So that's how I feel about this gun. I want to love the gun. The gun looks really, really cool. I love it, and it's got such beautiful perks available for it, but it seriously has no purpose for PvP or PvE. It's not half bad in PvE, but you wouldn't want to use it against a boss fight. You're not going to use it against anything stronger, so that's how I feel. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Let me know if you did, and hopefully you guys didn't work your butt off to earn this thing.